do I begin? This is probably by far the most important video that I will do, and I'll explain. Each of us come here, whether we are, a starseed, a volunteer, light worker, however, or we are, a third density being who is trying to ascend to the next density or next grade level. Okay, densities, remember, like grades in school. There's 7 densities. And so this planet is being given the opportunity to, those third density beings here are given the opportunity to ascend to 4th density. Either they can choose 4th density negative or 4th density positive. If they do not meet either requirement, they will repeat other third density lives. So we each come here with this veil that's around the planet, the veil of forgetfulness. We all have it, whether we're, like I said, starseed light workers, volunteers from other higher densities, or we are third density beings who are trying to ascend further. So we all are subject to the rules of this third density, third dimension. As in, all beings are subjected to the rule or the law of free will. And this is what I'm going to emphasize in this message. The law of free will cannot be violated, either by negative entities, as well, of course, positive entities. The only case where it can is if, for instance, a planet were to destroy itself from a nuclear war or weapons, that higher density beings or dimensional beings can prevent that because it affects other dimensions in the same space. It can destroy other civilizations, which violates their free will. So what I want to talk about, and this is a putting things so, I've touched upon this already, but I'm going into this further, and this is something that I just came through in the Law of One series, book 4. As I mentioned, about 3,600 years ago, or 3,700 years ago, so close to 4,000 years ago already, the negative Orion group came onto this planet physically. They consist of the 4th density negative reptilians. Now, not all reptilians, again, are negative, but there is a group of negative 4th density reptilians. There's also a group of 5th density negative Orions. Now, they are not reptilian looking. They look just like us, just like a human being would. They are here on this planet. They are physical. Many of them, these 5th density negative Orion, are fitting right in with society. Many of them are in positions of power. This is how they can manipulate. So this gets to me what I've talked about before. We are all presented with information, especially those in third density, because it's a choice. This dimension, this density is a choice. They choose can go to, like I said, either 4th density positive, 4th density negative. That's a choice. So both higher density beings, whether they're negative or positive, will help, they will supply information to try and guide third density beings, especially, to, go to that polarity of negative or positive, okay? More so than negative. The negative fourth density, like the reptilians and these negative Orions, are always doing to try and recruit, okay? Like recruit, like you would go be recruited for either the military or be recruited for a job or whatever. So they're always trying to recruit more third density beings to the dark side, okay? They're always trying to do that. And the way they do that is they promise or they put out information. They say, well, we're promising new technologies. We're promising a new monetary system. We're promising, full disclosure. We're going to promise all of this stuff, right? And they promise it and say it's going to be, this planet is going to change. It's going to be moving into this era. I will say this again, because there are so many that are giving out the wrong information. And I will say it, yes, it is not the correct information. The only truth or the correct is following your heart. Your heart is the only true indicator of information that you get. So when somebody channels information, when somebody gets it from, you send out love to that being. You send out light to that being. If they don't respond or they go away, then you know you're dealing with an entity that's probably not positive. These negative fifth density Orion group use dark magic. They can put out false light. They can make themselves look like a Palladian. They can make themselves look like an Arcturian. They can make themselves look like God, Jesus. They can make them, or Sananda. They can make themselves look like an angel. They can do all this stuff to trick people. So what they do, they also can get into and trick many starseeds and volunteers who are channeling. They can also do this. They do this with leaders of this world who are people who are in positions of power, especially the media, because that is a very big manipulator. So what they do is they give out this information and they say, they can say this planet is going to be this next year. It's going to go in the next 5 years. It's going to be amazing here. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to have new technologies. You're going to have a new monetary system. You're going to have all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. This planet was never meant to go beyond third density. I will say that again. This planet is never meant to go beyond the third density, third dimension. The planet ends at this cycle. This is the end of this cycle, period. The only way to move forward is leaving this physical realm by your soul leaving, okay? Soul leaves the body, you move on to another realm. That's the only way. God, source, creator, will never promise you all these material things and that in a higher density. Never. You always go through your heart. You should always discern information through your heart. Always. We've all been tricked. We've all been manipulated. All of us have. We've all gotten the information that we thought was correct and being told there was, and then find out it isn't. So the purpose of this video is to get people to understand that it's never about a promise of you're going to get these things and these things through Ascension. It's not about that. Because when you do move to this fourth density, this fifth dimension, this new earth that already exists, you automatically have this stuff. Automatically. I'm saying a monetary system, but you will automatically have free everything. It's not going to be where you need to earn it or you need to be manipulated into getting there. Because the only way you can get there is through your heart. Only way is by Creator, through Creator's love, through God's love. So when this information is supplied by these negative beings, these negative Orion beings, it's up to the third density person, even starseed who channels this, or light worker, to what they will do with that information. So I'll give you an example. World War II, information was given through nuclear material. At that time, they decided to use it for a weapon. However, they could have used it for positive. They didn't. They chose to use it for a weapon. So that's a good example. Now, what else? So what I'm trying to say, this is not violating anybody's free will. It's completely up to each individual entity, being, to decide how to discern that information. But again, this third density is not going beyond this. This planet is not moving beyond this. And I will say that again, this planet is not moving beyond this. I think this right now, I'm getting this urge that it's so, so important to follow your heart, to follow the Creator, God, to go through your heart, to know that we will be leaving this physical planet. We will leave, and it's coming very fast. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this year, because we're at that point where things are going to really escalate, even much more so than it is now. And the one thing that's really important that I want to caution people on, and this is in the law of one, that if beings, whether they're third density beings or whether they're star seeds and volunteers who have come here in this physical, if they can be manipulated. So if they fall for this information that is not of the heart frequency, okay, it's not going. And so let's say a being is saying, we're going to give this new technology and this new monetary system and that, and they're believing that, they can be moved into a fourth density negative. They can be a slave to that negative reptilians or those Orions, and that would be permanent. I shouldn't say permanent, I don't want to say that, but you would become negative, because it's like they're recruiting. So that's why you always go through your heart. It's interesting, because in this third density, this third dimension, everybody wants to hear of, oh, what is it in for me? What is it in for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? What am I getting from this? What are we going to? They always want to see the quantity, the qualitative, what they're going to get from it. So when you see all these people getting information or getting promises of this or that, that's not what it's about. It's about here. It's about your heart. It's about God, Creator. That's what it's about. It's not about who's going to save this world, who's going to become next president. It's not going to be, who cares? It's not about that. And I will say this, all of them are being manipulated. All of them. Whether you believe that or not. But they're especially leaders. That's why it's so important to follow your heart and follow that frequency of love. And so how do you do that? If you have a being that comes to you, let's say you can channel, you send that love energy, you feel it in your heart, you feel that love, you send it out to them, say, I'm sending you unconditional love. And if they repel and move back out of it right away, they're not of love. They're not of positive polarity. Nope. If they reciprocate and send you that back, then you know you're dealing with an entity that is truly a positive polarity. So I recommend people do that, to use your discernment that way. To use your discernment when you hear information, wherever it's from. Ask your heart, does that seem like it resonates in my heart? Does that seem like, no, it doesn't, because it's not about, oh, we'll give you this, here's the carrot, dangling over you, come over this way, come over this way. It's not about that. Don't be tricked or manipulated into believing that, because you don't want to get trapped into that fourth density negative. And just because, like I said, we're volunteers and starseeds, we are still susceptible to this third density because we're here. We can still descend. We can go down in a density or grade because you can, by being manipulated by that. So you got to be very, very, very careful to use your own discernment. So like I said, the only way through ascension is through your heart. Only through your heart. Now, I'm not saying all either channelers or all star seeds or whatever are channeling, being manipulated and getting false information. No, I'm not saying that, because it is that the information that these negative Orions are providing are, yeah, they're going to be promised that. Sure, they are. But then you're trapped into that density, that negative density, negative polarization. So again, use your discernment through your heart. Simply put, follow the Creator. That's how we ascend. Only way we ascend. It's the ascension of the soul. It's not ascension of this physical stuff, this physical body, this physical planet. It's not. Every planet has a purpose. Every density has a purpose. This density, this planet, was to help people choose what they want, if negative or positive, or repeat. That's the purpose of this physical planet. The Mother Gaia, who the soul that's been residing in this planet, was providing this space for us to use, to share, to use it either way. And it has been used a lot in the negative, but it's been used in a lot in beautiful ways as well. But it's harder to get people to, say, to persuade them, to get them to understand it is through your heart. Because a lot of people want to know what's on the other side. They want to know what's beyond this then. Well, what is it going to be? Is it going to be, it's always about love. If you always follow your heart and love, it's going to be that. You have to have faith. You have to have trust in yourself. Trust in yourself, trust in Creator, because we are a part of the Creator. So you trust in yourself and your heart, then you're always taken care of. You have to have that faith, though. You have to. So you cannot fake love. You cannot fake that love at all. There's no way a negative density being can fake that. Now, these negative fourth density beings bypass the heart chakra, the fourth density heart chakra. It's more of love of their, it's power of love. Okay, that's so what they do, these negative reptilians do, is when they can recruit another third density being or even a volunteer starseed, they get a rank up in their into their, how do I say, it's like a military. They go from maybe a sergeant to a lieutenant or something. Okay, that's how it works. So they get that promise. So the more they can recruit, the more power they get, and their social memory complex, their group. Okay, if they can get a whole group, then they get even much more power. So this is a power struggle. That's what negative fourth density beings is. It's about power struggle, power over others. Okay, the love of that power over others. So what they do is they offer things that appear attractive so they can trick beings in the third density or volunteers to go to a fourth density negative. That's what they do. That's their whole purpose. So again, use your discernment through your heart. Creator God, that's the only way we ascend out of here. We leave here. And the way it will happen is, again, like I said, there will be some massive event. And I know people I've heard people scoff at it and mock at it and say, oh, that's just silly. Even people that have been awakened for many, many, many years are not believing it. Because I think I've noticed people that have been sometimes awakened for so long, they've become they become awakened so long that they just lose their faith in what will happen. Or not, maybe not necessarily that, but they've heard promises for so many years that it becomes where you just get, okay, whatever, I guess we're not going anywhere. No, that's not what it's about. It's a process. You got to remember, Creator, God, Source, has no time limit. There's no time frame. There's no, it's going to happen on this date or that date. But you can feel it when it's getting close. You can feel it based on the events that are happening on this planet. And there sure are. We're right at that point where we're going ready to really close to that happening. So keep your faith. Use your discernment through your heart always. Share that love. Please share this video with people because this is so, so, so important. You have no idea how important this is. I don't want people to get stuck. We don't want people to get stuck in negative polarity. We don't want that. We don't want people being manipulated into believing something that's going to happen and it's not going to. You don't want that. Anytime there's a hierarchy or a power structure like that, is not for the benefit of love. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. So please subscribe if you haven't. Please like this video. Please comment. I appreciate your comments. I love all of you. Thanks for your support. Please click on the bell to get notifications when these new videos come. And again, please share this with others. This is so important. It's not about staying here, promising of ascension through the physical. It doesn't work that way. It's ascension of your soul, moving out of here, okay? This planet was only purpose. This planet's purpose was to get people to choose a polarity. That's what this is about. So I love you all again. Thank you for watching, and I will keep posting videos as much as I get the information in, and help people understand as best I can. So thank you. God bless.